Torah doesn't make that statement. So the idea that there's a creed now that people say, they embellish God like he knows the future. He can do everything, that we can't describe him by what he is, by only what he's not. Like all these later developed ideas that are mentioned by our early rabbis, like our Gaonim, like find their way into the Quran when the Torah doesn't embellish God so much. It seems like God is not the main character in the Torah, but his commandments are individual moral training that leads to national training. That's what it's all about. But now it's about believing correctly, interpreting prophecies correctly. Like, when did God ever punish anyone or reward anyone in the Bible for interpreting a prophecy correctly? It doesn't make any sense. It's just like the theme isn't there. It seems like in biblical Israel, you could have been an atheist, right? And just kept all the laws and be right with God, because there wasn't a religious litmus test. But not in Islam and not in Christianity. In Christianity, if you don't confess that Jesus is Lord, you won't have a share in the world to come. That, Satan's on your shoulder, like all these ideas that we don't see so well defined in the Jewish Bible, which makes you feel that they have different authors. Anyways, welcome, Teishi.
Hello, I had a question. So you mentioned that there's not this idea of hell. And
like a well-defined idea in hell.
Because then does that follow then someone like the mustache man could do everything he did, unalive himself, and there's no comeuppance for him?
I personally believe that if God is righteous, there has to be more. There has to be some divine justice. I'm just saying hell as a theological concept is not so well defined in the Jewish Bible. It really doesn't even appear there. There's one crazy statement in the book of Isaiah, like people burning, but it's not well defined like a doctrinal idea. Like it is more in the New Testament, at least more with the lake of fire, because I guess it's debatable what's happening in hell when it's mentioned in the Gospels, and it's really well defined in the Quran. The question is, only because something appears in a book, you first have to ask, where'd you get this concept from? And they'll be like, well, we got it from God. I'm like, well, then why didn't God mention it in the Torah? All right.
Yeah, but it could have been a continuation, right? And I think that